What's up? It's Lex, and welcome to Feedback Chats. Today, we've got my man, Tso Ghostly.
What's up with y'all, man?
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. I'm really excited to chat with you today just about, like, your artistry, your studio, your gear, all that fun stuff. So we're just going to dive right in if that's cool with you.
Man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So, first of all, how did we end up rapping, man? How did you get into that lane of music? If you guys don't know, Tso is a crazy rapper. Tap in with the live Alexas and see what's going on. But incredible artist just through and through. And how did we get there, man? What led you to that road?
Yeah, so I've always loved music, like, since I was younger. I've always just found myself just listening and reciting lyrics of, like, favorite songs and stuff like that. And yeah, one day I just found myself, like, I just started writing, like, little poems and stuff like that, just, like, weird things. And then it just, like, out of nowhere, I just started writing songs. Like, I was like, you know what? I understood. It was, like, sixth grade. I was like, verse, chorus, verse. You know what I mean? Like, I understood the breakdown. So I was like, let me write some stuff. And at the time, I didn't really have anything to record on until my friend's mom, he, like, she bought a, like, an old record player box thing.
Okay.
It was weird. Like, you could put a tape in there and hit record. And it had a little tiny hole at the top.
Yeah.
And you could kind of speak into it. He brings it to my house and he's like, dude, we can record our songs.
Let's make some music. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right. And I'm so blessed to have been able to record on tape. But yeah, so at a young age, I started writing songs, recording, and I just fell in love with it. Like, it wasn't something that grew on me. As soon as I found music, it was like, I know this is it. Like,
that's awesome.
Ever since I was a kid, it's just always been a fire burning,
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, like, in your process, like, when it comes to writing and stuff like that, like, when you were a kid, right, were you just, like, finding beats and then going over top of that? Were y'all just, like, banging on the table and making songs? Like, what was the process?
It started off just a cappella.
Okay.
And I was, like, really into storytelling. So I was, like, it was almost like I was reading a story that rhymed. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
hey, I get up out the bed and, like, stuff like that, like, super corny. But yeah, so the first beat I ever ran across, it wasn't even a beat. It was, Outkast. They had an album called Speaker Box, I believe. Mm-hmm. And the first song, it was like Speaker Box. And it was just like an instrumental. And I was like, oh, this is a beat I can rap on.
Yeah, okay.
We got that record player. We wrote a song to the intro of their album.
That's awesome.
And we're like rapping over top of it. And that was our first song. Like, we had a beat, Hey,
man.
And then we started being like, hey, we need to find beats. And I think at the time, this was before SoundCloud and all that, there was a website called SoundClick, I believe.
Hey, okay.
You ever heard of that?
I think so. Way back.
SoundClick.
Way back. I never really used it.
Yeah,
but,
this is way
that
back.
tickles some part of my brain.
Yeah, but they had beats on there, and you could just download them or whatever. And yeah, we just started writing, dude.
That's
like
fire.
Getting beats. We would be at the school and we would use their internet to download. We didn't have a computer at the house, but we would use the school's internet, download a bunch of stuff on a CD or a card or whatever, take it back to the house and play it.
Make it happen.
Yeah, that's dude, fire. Like, this is awesome.
Well, from there to now, man, obviously lots has changed, right? It's like one of my favorite things about your music is just the storytelling that you bring to the table. Like, there's a lot of substance in these raps, you know what I'm saying? And you're telling your story and kind of the whole process of how you grew up and how all that's working. So how did you have you always been that way from starting out? Did you always tell your story, or were you just kind of having fun and then it kind of led to that journey there?
I'd say at first it did start off like storytelling. Like, I don't know why, I just felt like I fell in love with, like, trying to tell a story when I first started. But I'd say, like, a year into me really writing and stuff, like around 7th or 8th grade, it became very therapeutic for me to write music. So then the music just became anything. And like, when I read, I still have some of the papers from back then. When I read some of that stuff, you can tell I was like a super emotional child. Like, I was just trying to just figure out why I was feeling this way and just get it on paper and digest it. And that's one of my favorite things about music, is you can get these emotions out and play it back. And I kind of got stuck in that as a kid, as I would, like, get this emotion out.
Yeah.
Like, I was so angry or so upset, and then I would be able to just, like, relive that, which is kind of toxic, but at the same time, it helps me work through it.
I mean, that's the same concept as therapy.
Right.
You go and you say the stuff, right, off somebody to be a backboard for you, and you're just making the song the backboard so you can hear it back. That's beautiful, man. I think that's awesome.
Right.
And yeah, like, yeah, if you haven't listened to Ghostly's music, you'll find a lot of that storytelling, that really purposeful stuff, which is really cool, and all the vibes too.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm
you know we got
saying?
the
But,
vibes
yeah.
too. Gotta have the vibes.
Yeah. So now in your process, like later in life, right? So you have your own studio
Yep.
and you're making your own music there, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit,
Right.
right? Because I want to hear more about that. But what does the process look like now? Are you working with producers independently? Are
Yep.
you like trying to just like search the internet for beats? Like, what's your process look like now?
Okay, so yeah, so back then I used to just find a beat and I would immediately just like start writing, and I would try to start from point A and go from one side all the way through until it was done.
Yep,
I
yep.
would never jump around. But now that I became an engineer and I've started doing my own like mixing on my own music and stuff like that, I've found so many sounds that I like, and now when I write, it can get complicated quickly, because like say if shout out Lens Prag, that's a producer work with the most. He's an awesome producer, man. But if Lens Prag sends me a beat, if it touches the soul, I immediately turn all the equipment on, start letting the mics and everything warm up, and dude, I will find my sound before I even start writing.
That's awesome.
So like
So like cadence, vibes.
yeah, so
all
if I
that.
hear the beat, the mixing is like I'm mixing while I'm writing, and it's weird. And
yeah, I
and
feel
it's
that,
got
bro.
me in trouble sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you hear an idea and you're like, I know I can make that shit happen.
Right.
But then it's like, how do you?
But I haven't even wrote it yet.
Yeah, how do
right?
you
I'm
get
like, I'm
there,
not
you
even, but
know,
I'm like,
like-
I know at this point in the beat, I can be like, or something, and I can mix it, and I'm like, okay. So it's kind of,
Then you got to work backwards.
yeah, it's kind of
man.
bad. But I feel like my music has evolved so much because of that. Because instead of me sitting down and forcing myself to be like, we're talking about this, and that's what the song's about, instead I just find the beat, and I just get in the studio, I put the headphones on, I have it on loop, and even if it's mumbling, like a lot of times I'm like da 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 da.
Record that.
Okay, and then I'll mix that. I'll mix the mumble sometimes.
That's beautiful.
To be like,
Will it
dude,
sound how I want?
that
Like,
sounds
yeah,
amazing.
Exactly.
And then I cut it. I have my chain that I know I'm gonna do. I'll like bypass some of the plugins and then find the words and track it out for real.
That's what's up.
But I already have my sound.
Yeah.
And like I got that from working with other artists. Is like an artist will come through, they'll start rapping their song to me, and immediately I'm like I start thinking about how to mix it.
Yep.
And now that's accidentally trickled over into my writing.
Yep.
So when I go to write a song, I find the beat, I immediately start trying to find the sound now. Before I even have the words,
Yeah.
most of the time.
I think it's an engineer curse a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I used to not do that when any of my music, right? But now, like, somebody would be like, you want to do a feature for me? And I'm like, sure. And I'm doing the same thing, bro. I'm humming melodies, I'm mumbling cadences and stuff.
I just did
and then
a
I
feature.
leave those tracks muted so I can see it and just come back to it and be
Yep.
like, ooh, I gotta, and then you're writing to fit that.
Our
Yeah.
sessions probably look ugly sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You see like the client session and it's super neat, everything's labeled properly, and then it's like my session is just like a bomb went off.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, I was
You're
punching
like,
in trying to figure it out.
I'm getting it done though, which is it's interesting. The more you learn, it's like it's almost like more gets in your way,
Right.
but in a good way. You can do like amazing things too. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like more possibilities, which can be bad. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
On my first project, it definitely got in the way because as I was learning engineering, you learn a new trick and you think it's like the one.
Yeah, man.
So
You're like, I
the
gotta do
whole
this.
album was like a learning.
Yep.
Like by the end of it, you're like, okay, we get it, dude. You know how to use the tremolo effect. Like
You don't need that anymore.
yeah,
but
then
no,
like
it's
every
so
song,
true.
I'm
Like,
applying it
It's
and
so
going.
true. Half of engineering is knowing when not to do something. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And so like, there's so many times too where I do the same thing. I learn a new trick and I'm like, oh, I've been doing that trick a lot, which
Yeah.
is not bad, depending. But sometimes you might put it in the wrong spot just because it's new.
Or the song just doesn't call for it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
shout out to Caboose Winston. He's an amazing artist and author. He comes to the studio all the time. He's the one that actually told me that. He's like, yo, the professionals know when to leave stuff out.
Yep.
And he's like, you can have all the tools and all the paint colors you want in the world, because he was doing a mural in my studio and he was doing it in layers. And he's like, yeah, the professionals know when to stop.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he's
When to
like,
leave it alone.
yeah, when
man.
it's done.
And
like,
that's the hardest part of production right there is when to leave it alone.
yep.
I had a professor in college. He said, "Songs are never finished. You just have to lovingly abandon it at some
Oh,
point." You
dude,
know what I'm
that is
saying? Like you just
beautiful.
gotta let it go. Shout out Ojo Taylor. That's the man.
Yep.
But
That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit about this studio, because if y'all don't know, Tso is running a studio.
Let's go.
Right? He's making it happen. He's got a list of clients. People are coming to him and writing music, producing music, recording, mixing, mastering, the works, bro. Living the dream.
Dude, we are getting it in.
Yeah, and the new studio is beautiful, bro.
Thank you so much.
You know, everything you've been sending me is so cool.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, if you need an engineer, Tso's your guy. He's amazing.
Likewise.
Making some great stuff. So let's talk about the studio. If you want to just kind of give the people the rundown of what the space is like and what you got going on.
Dude, so it's always been an engineer's dream, of course, to like build your own studio.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like
yeah,
just
man.
something about it.
Feels good.
I recently just purchased a house, and when we were looking at it, I was like, I need something with a basement that can do the thing.
Yeah, man.
And of course, my wife's like, what are you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to find a house, and I'm like, this isn't the house. We need let's look at another one. Finally found one, and dude, I just got to work, man. I've been building it, framed up a couple walls for the vocal booth and everything. It's just been a journey, dude.
Yeah, man, you're building it, like literally building
like
separate spaces.
When we got in there was a floor, and there was like some flooring and kind of a room, and then the other side of the basement was completely empty.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? I can just put the mic in the room, you know, like whatever. And there's a lot of good things about being able to do that, but I was like, I want to build a vocal booth, man. Like, why not, you know? And so she, you know, me and the wife just started building it together, man. Shout out her. She helped me out through the whole thing. So
that's awesome. Find you someone who supports your dreams.
Dude, for real. She was down there rapping bass traps with me, and she's like, get out the way. You're not, this isn't
not
right.
Pretty enough,
yeah, my corners were looking bad. She's like, you're messing it up.
Dude, that's how Mo is. She'll come in here and be straightening stuff out and be like, you just got to look nice. You know what I mean?
Dude, like with the flowers, you
like
go into my
that
studio
stuff,
and there's plants everywhere. Shout out the wife.
That's what's up, man.
For real.
All right, so you got the vocal booth, which is fire, bro, and then you've got a desk set up with everything you need. Let's talk a little bit about your gear and like what you have found as an engineer, what you like, you know? So let's talk about like the desk setup first. So first of all, DAW actually is important. What are you running?
Dude, Pro Tools, baby.
Running Pro Tools.
Team Pro Tools, man. Had to do it. Yeah,
man, bro. I was Team Pro Tools for a long time.
For real?
Pro Tools is fire.
Dude, it's awesome, man. I love it. Yeah, Logic is fire too.
It's all what you need, right?
Right.
And if it fits your needs well, that's all that matters.
Right. I always, when I talk to engineers, I'm like, hey, I think it's important to learn a few different ones.
Absolutely.
Have your one.
Absolutely.
But like, I remember when I was taking lessons from you, when we came up here, it really,
Logic.
Yeah, it took me out of my element. And that's when I realized I was like, I need to know Logic.
Yeah.
Because like, I've been engineering for a while, but just watching you navigate, I was like, why do I feel lost right now?
Yeah, and that feels weird in a DAW. The first time I opened FL, I was like,
dude,
what is? I've been doing this a long time, and I don't know what this is. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to know just enough to navigate. So if you do get someone pulls you into a session, and they're like, "Yo, can you run this real quick?" and you're like, "I've never seen this."
I've had
before.
artists bring me a Logic session. They open up their computer and they're like, "Can you mix this for me?" And I'm like,
And you're like, "Oh man."
Yeah, let's bounce this out.
Yeah,
Logic.
let me get exports.
Yeah, because we'll be here for 3 hours.
Yeah,
like,
but Pro Tools is fire, man. It's a great setup. It's awesome. Let's talk about what about your monitors? What are you running?
I got the Yamaha HH.
Oh, bro,
ones.
those are fire.
Dude, I love them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
I don't have the sub right now, but I do have the,
Yeah, no, those are great because, like, they are, like, priced reasonably and they are super clean. Like, when you sit in front of them, like, they're going to tell you what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a great set of monitors. I've got to, like, listen to them and use them in different places throughout my career, and they're just always like, oh, you can get this done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's what like
and
everybody
it makes it sound crazy, bro.
Dude,
so,
thank you so much, man. I do really appreciate that. I had the JBLs for the longest time, and they got the job done.
Hey, man,
they did great. And then I think everybody goes through a pair of JBLs at some point.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I had the JBLs for a while, and then I was looking to just do like a slight upgrade. I looked at the Barefoot Audios, and then I also looked at is it Atom Audio?
Yeah.
So also that has like side speaker stuff. I was
awesome,
looking at those. They were a little bit pricey at the time, so I just went ahead and rocked with the Yamahas, and they're great. Like,
dude, I tell people all the time too, like, if you can't get it done on like this tier of speaker, there's just no point in even upgrading at all. You know what I'm saying? Because like I mixed on PreSonus Aris 5s, bro.
Right.
For
ever. For real.
Forever. Before that was the speakers I had before the Barefoots. And when I made the jump, it was it was a ridiculous jump for me. I was like, this is crazy, you know what I'm saying? But like
this is the first time I've ever seen the Barefoot Audios, and then after I left the studio here, I heard so many people talking about
Dude,
them.
I love
They're
them.
like it's like the hidden gem,
I love
especially
them.
for producing as well. Like
Yeah, they're
there's a
just
lot of
so
producers that love them things.
I love them so much because they just tell me all the information that I need. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's really cool. But like again, you can get it done with whatever you need to get done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I love the HS5s. They're a great set and like the fact that your mixes are sounding as amazing as they are sounding, like that tells you everything you need to know. You
Dude,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
nah,
like
that's love.
that's what's up.
That's
So
love.
like it's super cool to see, man. Well, let's talk about like what other gear do you have in the studio? We'll get to microphones because that's the fun stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
But I know you've got some analog gear that you like to run for vocal chains and stuff
Right.
like that. So what
I
you got
got
going on?
so I got right now I've been testing out I've been testing a lot of stuff out because I'm just now getting into the analog gear.
Yeah,
I've been hitting you up
it's
like,
a
hey,
fun
what do you
world,
think, man?
man.
Like
Yeah,
because I know it's not necessarily a necessity unless you're looking for a certain texture or color,
absolutely.
then definitely rock with it. But yeah, right now I'm doing the warm audio preamp that they have, the Neve
Yeah,
remake
yeah,
that they
man,
have.
that's
It's
awesome.
pretty dope. And then I'm running into the their WA76
Okay,
compressor.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, it's
great.
like the D-Rev version,
Yeah,
so you
man,
can
that's
like
awesome.
bypass it and all that.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, man. I really like it. And especially what I will say about analog gear is I'm learning, but like it's scary.
It is because you're committing.
You're committing
You know what I'm
right
saying?
now. Like,
You
is
are
that the right
committing,
compression you want? Like, is
and
that
if
what you
it's not,
wanted?
you're cooked later. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if the artist is dynamic. So something I've been doing lately is like I got into it for like 2 or 3 months straight, and I was just heavy about it because I had the new gear and I was like, I know this sounds
Yeah,
better,
man.
right? You know how it
Yeah,
goes.
absolutely.
And then I was just like, I don't like the way I feel every time an artist comes here. Like I just feel scared. I'm scared of like the
And
analog
yeah,
gear.
and that's a bad feeling, bro.
Right. And so I've been lately I've been bypassing the compressor, just getting that just a little bit of grit from the warm audio Neve
Yeah.
and
Hey, a
yeah.
nice preamp is a game changer anyways,
Right.
right? It just give you a different style, different color, so that's all that matters. And like bro, like I always commit. So I use all the universal audio stuff. So I'm
Okay.
I'm using their like plugins in their zero latency setup with using their console 1 setup, right? So
Okay.
it's all like it's all digital still, but there's no latency and you can commit everything. Now,
Oh
there's an
wow.
option where you can hear it without committing it, but I'm a commit kind of guy. Cause, well,
Yeah.
like in the studio, like when I was working at Blue Sprocket, like we had the gear and I got used to committing, bro, and I just love it.
Yeah.
And like, did I cook myself sometimes? Like, yeah.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And then
Right.
you're like, okay, I got to fix this, you know?
Yeah.
But once you get used to it and you learn like that little bit of, it's just a little bit will do a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I'm always on an 1176 on the way in. Like I just love the way
Really?
always. You've always.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
Every time.
I just love it, especially with like the microphone that I have and the setups that I like to use. Just a little bit. I'm talking 4-to-1 ratio.
Right.
We're only talking 3 to 5 dB at the big moments of gain reduction. But
Besides that, it's kind of chilling and
it's
the big
chilling, but
moments it'll just a
it
little
just
bit.
adds a nice character. I'm 1176 kind of person. Not everybody is, but I love it. So it's
Right.
on every vocal I record. I love
Dude,
it.
I've heard a lot about the CL1Bs. I haven't got to personally try them yet, but I'll definitely go down that road eventually. But the 1176, when you get it dialed in right, I will say, dude, it's
It's just
awesome.
so nice.
It and I realized I was looking for a big difference, and you don't get this like huge difference always. It's always that, like you said, slight stuff.
But then you find at the end of your chain,
That's where
everything just kind of worked out better, and you weren't fighting
well,
stuff
then the
as much. And
changeless.
yeah, the
I'll have
chains.
7 plugins on there. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like
dang, these 4 or 5 things,
like
like
I'm
it got it.
rocking. Yeah,
Yeah. And then there's
exactly.
this body that's hard to get digitally. I realized, and when you get the analog gear right, and it could just be me, but like when you get the analog gear just right on the way in, it gives it this like weight,
Nah, it's true, bro.
and it just feels so good.
Yeah, it's like the first time you start playing with saturation and you get a little bit of saturation and you're like, my vocal just came to life, you know?
Yep.
Same thing with the analog thing. When you get that little bit of coloration from the analog gear, you just be like, wow, like this has a different it's sometimes hard to explain, but
Right.
it's almost like it fits into the texture of the whole mix better all from the jump. You're not
Yeah.
even playing that much, you know what I mean? So
What made me transition over is actually there's an artist I recorded. Shout out K Vaughn. We went to another studio in Staunton, and he was doing like an interview or something for them. And there was this engineer there. He had an amazing studio, and he was doing all analog gear, and I've never seen that in real life before. I just heard about it and seen it on videos. But he was like, "Hey, I don't really do mixing and mastering kind of deal." He was like, "I'm just like he's like really focused on a recording engineer, which is cool.
Which is really cool.
It's super important,
especially
right?
when he's like, if he's using analog gear and he's
Dude,
got it all vibed
when
out.
he
And
gave it
like,
to me, I got back to the
you're like, I
house,
don't even want to mess with it.
dude. In like 30 minutes, I was like, I think it's done.
Yeah,
like
because when you get great
honestly,
stuff on the way in, I mean, like, and that's the big argument over time is like, you know, there's this analog versus digital that's been going on forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm team play both fields because like you get great things from both sides. And that's the
Exactly.
whole point in the
It's
middle.
like a time and place for everything.
Exactly. But like I have done full mixes in it only with analog gear.
What?
Yeah, like at
Oh,
the
that's
studio.
so cool,
I remember
man.
doing it just for fun. Like I had this session and the client was cool and he was like, "Man, like let's just do it. Like this is vibey. Let's make it happen." And I'd like I was on the console, patched in every compressor, every de-esser, every like it
That's
was
amazing.
and it was like a tangle of cables.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm taking pictures and shit because then, you know, it's like any kind of correction, bro. It's
Yeah,
like we got to
like,
set
what's
all
going
this
on?
back up. Like, oh my God. And it's fun. And that mix turned out, I just remember it being like so interesting to me because I had never really done that before. So I remember just being like, I don't know what, like, it's the analog vibe, but
Right.
it's just like, it has this character to it. It wasn't the best mix I'd ever done in my life.
By all means,
but it was
right.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
it just, and the guy was like, man, this is cool. I don't know what
And
it is.
that's
but
music.
That's music,
It's
man.
art,
That's the
dude,
whole
like,
point, yeah.
you know?
And that's the whole point. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be right. You know what I mean?
Dude,
For the
does
song.
it feel good? Like when you listen to it?
Yeah, are you
like,
happy? Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? That's what it's all about. Well, that's sick, man. Let's talk about your chain a little bit, like things you like to use. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
first of all, let's get this straight. Every single vocalist on the planet is going to have a different vocal chain, and if you change anything in the recording process, you will have a different vocal chain. I hate when people are like, "Lo, can I just get my vocal chain?" And I'm like, "It's not going to be the same. It's never going to be the same, right? It's never going to be the same."
Especially your auto tune.
Yeah, you got.
If you come to the studio and you're like, "Hey, I sing in C minor for every song," I'm like,
it's just not true.
There's
bro.
the door.
It ain't gonna. It's not gonna work.
Right.
It's not gonna work. You got to change the stuff up, and it's everything. You use a different preamp. You use a different microphone. You're in a different room.
Right.
You have the gain set differently.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, the vocal chain will change. I've been trying to teach all of my clients because, like, I didn't know how important proximity and like
oh yeah,
like
all
it
that.
changes the chain
Everything.
dramatically.
Absolutely.
And so I've been trying to tell my people like, hey, if you want that real
You
good
gotta
mix,
be in this spot.
just listen to me a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and please don't go in there and start moving stuff.
No, don't touch anything ever.
Please don't touch the stuff, man.
Yeah, when you go to a studio, just you know, you are paying the person to touch the stuff. That's what we say. You know what I'm saying?
An hour
Let
before
me-
you get there, I've already uploaded
Yeah.
your song. I've checked your mic height.
Let me break my own shit. Don't break it for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Please.
yeah. It's so
I
dangerous.
had a person adjust my the shock mount. There's like a turn knob on it. And
Never.
I guess they thought that I don't know what dude. I know they turn it. The mic's like
Boom, and you're like, come on, bro. Yeah, no, don't just. It's not your job as the artist. It's our job. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Let us
yeah.
mess with it. You just do your thing, you know. But as the artist, it is your job to work the mic. You know what I'm saying? And listen to your engineer when they're like, "Hey, I need you like this far from it, or I need you here." You know what I mean?
Right.
Because every mic is different, and we know about that kind of stuff and care about that stuff and like all of that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
And so every vocal chain is gonna be different. That's what's important. That's what we're getting to.
Right.
But what is some stuff that you like to use, or you find yourself using on vocals in general? We can talk about plugins, whatever. you know
right.
what I mean?
Usually I'll start off with the Fab filter. I'm on the Pro Q3.
Yeah, man, me too.
Yep, and
Incredible.
I'm immediately just trying to take. I like to take things out. I don't really boost too much. I
Correct,
like
man.
to take
I feel the
some.
same way,
Yeah, I like to
yeah.
take the nasty stuff out. I feel like there's beautiful stuff already right there. We just gotta duck some things, and all of a sudden it just stands out all of a sudden.
Yes, man. And that is like when it comes to engineering, that's like the later lessons that you learn.
Right.
Is like, oh, I just need to remove the bad
Right.
and let the good shine.
And let
you
me
know?
see that good. Now I can hear the good, and then let's just give in
Get
to a little
there.
bit of that, you know.
Exactly, man.
So yeah, I'll start off with the Pro Q3, and then sometimes I'll hit it with the de-esser if I feel like it needs it right after that, and then I'll hit my first compressor usually.
Yeah.
If I don't like of course compress on the way in. Usually the 1176.
Yeah, man,
I mean,
that's
like
what I
9
was
times out of 10, it's the 1176.
And you
every
could
time.
try other ones and be like, but for that
rock-
initial, you know,
Yeah.
it just handles those transients so well because it's fast, it's aggressive.
It's super transparent. I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's doing too much. It's doing what I need it to do, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
Like, and then right after that, depending on how the low end and all that stuff's coming up, I might take a little something out again.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, I'll just hit it with that the Universal Audio Pultec.
Oh yeah,
EQ.
man, getting in with the
Yeah,
vibe EQ, man.
I'll give a little bit of boost on the lows and attenuate some stuff, kind of boost the highs a little bit. The highs sound so good on that plug-in.
It's amazing,
It's
bro.
butter.
It goes on my master every time.
Really,
I love
yeah,
it.
gotta have it, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and you taught me this. You're like, you could just put it on, and you're like, listen.
Okay, this is detailed engineering and listening, right? But like sometimes, even if you just open the plugin and then don't fuck with it,
It does.
it just
something.
does something. You know what I'm saying? And for the Pultec, I don't know what it is, bro, but it's like an Insta Vibe plugin.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I want to know what's going on under the hood
It's just
because
so nice.
when you open it up and it pops up and you don't touch anything,
It just sounds better.
you're like,
Yeah.
all right, now we're here. And I
Yeah,
always
man.
bypass it, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's doing something.
No, we need that. Yeah.
Right, like.
Yeah. Same way,
So
bro.
yeah,
Great
but then
plugin.
after that, and like you said, it changes for everything. I'm just trying to, the LA 2A. That's usually my second compressor. And we had a bunch of conversations when
Yeah,
I came
man.
and took lessons from you about that. Like, I love how it's a little bit slower. It's kind of like the Cadillac of compressors.
Yeah, man.
It just kind of rides a little
a
bit.
great way to
and
put it.
You don't need much. Like, you just need a
Nah.
little something.
You know, when I use that thing, I'm only ever like 3 dB worth of.
Likewise.
I'm just like.
I feel like when
grabbing
you
the
push
back
that
of
one
it.
too much, it almost like it starts to bury.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm like,
which is
yeah,
cool if you got
right.
a harmony.
or ad libs or whatever,
Yep.
something you want to push back, that it works.
But that little tiny squeeze, man, if you just get that right, especially towards the end of the chain, little bit of squeeze,
Right.
it's like it just glues it into the whole texture.
Right,
man. It's
man.
awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
and I love it. And at first I thought it was like I remember using the LA2A and telling people I didn't like it because I was pushing it really hard. And I
Well,
just
if you
couldn't-
do at first, if you're hitting it really hard, and then man, when you figure out the gain balance with that thing, and you start giving a little makeup gain into your compression with it,
dude.
like it just really transforms the sound. you
Right,
know?
and it's subtle.
Yeah.
But
Again.
it sounds good.
Yeah.
And then after that, dude, I love saturation. And so, sometimes I use what's the one by Sound Toys?
Decapitator.
Decapitator. Yeah, I love
Fire.
it. It's awesome, man. It gives an awesome sound. Sometimes it can be a little harsh if you push it, but I feel like it sounds great. And Fresh Air, I usually don't use the high end.
Okay. I've never used that plugin, bro,
Dude,
but
I like
everybody
it on
tells
the,
me
lo-
about
the
it.
mid.
Okay.
I don't like the sparkle necessarily on the high end. I really don't use that too much. It's usually just the mid. I'll just
Okay.
give a little bit, and it just gives it like the vocal weight.
I got you.
And because if I get to the end of the chain and I'm like, I got thin somewhere, or I feel like it's kind of getting harsh or something.
Okay,
on
so
the
you're
top,
using it to just kind of give it a little
I'll
more.
give the mid just a little boost, and all of a sudden it's almost like putting the master in a tape.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever had like a harsh master, or kind of harsh, and
Yeah.
you're like, you put it through a tape, then all of a sudden it just sounds.
You're like, oh, now there we go.
Yeah, I know some people
Yeah.
don't like to use the term warm, but like it almost
Nah,
gives it
that's
that body.
What, yeah, that's
yeah,
good,
right.
That's
like,
what the tape's doing. It feels like it gives warmth to the whole thing. Yeah.
right, and so I found that Fresh Air on the mid side does that.
That's
for
cool.
me.
I've
And
never
so-
used that plugin. I really would like to try it. I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna get it at some point.
I
just
think
'cause-
I think it's a free plugin.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's what's always been incredible. I always hear
Oh.
like other engineers talk about
Maybe
it.
I'm thinking about Soothe or something.
Soothe is probably what you're
Okay,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
That's the one that's like a dynamic
Yeah,
EQ.
yeah.
It's
It's
constantly
pulling stuff
like,
out a little bit.
yeah,
But Fresh
I-
Air is more about brightening.
Right.
or
right,
those-
yeah,
or
and I think it's like a
expanding those
harmonic
frequencies.
distortion or
Okay,
something.
that's
like it
fire.
adds
Yeah,
harmonics
that's
or
cool.
something. And Soothe, yeah, I'll use Soothe. I found that I don't need things like Soothe and stuff like that if this is right.
Correct. Yeah.
And shout
All-
out Jeremy, my homie Jeremy. He's another engineer. He's awesome. He really drilled it into my head because he's old school,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned engineering, I think, backwards. Because when I was rapping at Studio C many years ago, I had an engineer. Shout out Billy Morgan. Billy was doing all my recordings and stuff. I was kind of like spoiled because I had a great engineer starting out.
Yeah.
And when he transitioned over, I lost all that, and I was immediately like, how do I record my own stuff? And I'm asking him all the wrong questions. I'm like, how did you dip the beat? How did you get delay?
Yeah.
And so, dude, this is serious, before I learned EQ or any of that stuff, I had H delay rocking. I had all these effects going on. And then I started
'Cause that's the
learning.
exciting shit.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
the
I'm
cool
saying?
stuff. All the
That's- yeah.
flavor,
Yeah.
reverb's way out of proportion.
Yeah.
It's like pushed way up.
Yeah.
Everything sounds crazy. And then I started learning about EQ and all that. And then I feel like I got really good with all the mixing. And then me and Jeremy started diving into a lot of stuff. And he was like, dude, this is more important.
Yeah, man.
He's like,
I mean,
know all the mixing and all the tricks, and that's cool because
yeah.
Jeremy couldn't tell you how to do all these tricks, right? But Jeremy can get you a really solid
And
recording.
that's what matters. Absolutely.
And
it's a different thing. Recording engineering is different than mix engineering.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And what he was telling me, he's like, dude, there's 7 different jobs or whatever for making
that's
a song.
What I'm saying. Absolutely.
And he's like, everybody's trying to get rid of the recording engineer, and he's like, and that's why the world right now of music is kind of tinny and harsh.
Well,
and
people just don't know about the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we're trying to do with this YouTube channel is like bring back some of the fundamentals of it so that people can work backwards and be like, oh, because if you got good fundamentals, bro, you're not using 10 plugins on your chain.
Right. Well, there's just less to fix, I guess.
There's less bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it just ends up being cleaner in general, and you find yourself adding and not fixing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you get to the more fun stuff a lot quicker, like. So yeah, that's where it's. So right now, my brain's really just been on like, how can I track the best, cleanest, weightest. Like I want body to my vocal. I want all that stuff, right? Like
and make it sound amazing before you even get going.
Yeah, and then I'm sitting there looking at the screen, and I'm like, well, I have one compressor and an EQ, and I have a little bit of reverb, and if it doesn't sound pretty freaking good right then and there, I'm like, we
messed up.
Yeah, let's do something.
Yeah, and it's little things like people don't realize if you take a microphone and you go off axis a little bit, you have way less sibilance.
Yep.
Right. If you have distance between the mic, right? Like obviously condensers don't have this, but well, I mean they have a little bit, but like proximity effect from a dynamic microphone, you get closer, you get those low end, you get further away, right?
It's like
thins it out, right?
Yeah.
And so like you can use microphones in this way that like creates a way more like present and full vocal before you even get started with an EQ. Back in the day, bro, they didn't have EQ. They didn't have compression. They had microphones and they would move it and move it and move it and move it and move it, and then they'd be like, perfect.
Right.
Can you make sure you're moving to the mic when you're singing loud and soft? And the compressor was the distance between the vocal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was.
And then you would see singers like draw back. And, like they understood how to keep that.
Yeah, and now there's just a lack of knowledge about that stuff, and you get different products because of that. Not saying it's bad, right? But it is different. We live in a different age. If you listen to old music, there's just like a movement to it that feels a little different. It's because of things like that,
Right.
So it's cool to hear you say all that stuff.
But I feel like people forget like these are instruments too.
They are,
like they're a tool. It's not like like I feel like people are like, this is just something you place there, and I'm like, your voice is an instrument and this is an instrument,
and that's why
they got to work together.
Every single vocal you work with, you could put a different microphone in front of it. I've been in the situation where people be like, I want your most expensive microphone, and I'm like, we can do that, but it's gonna sound like shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the one for you.
Right.
Sometimes it's $100 mic that sounds better on you than a $10,000 mic.
What's the Shure mic that everybody? I think it's people call it the Michael Jackson mic. The Shure. Is it the 57?
Which one?
The one with
the SM57?
Yeah.
I got one. Oh, I don't have it over here. It's in the closet. But
right.
We were joking that it's like the greatest microphone in the world,
Yeah.
And they're like $110, like,
Dude, for
bucks.
real though.
Yeah,
and it's like you just be surprised. And people, you have people request these things. They're like, I want the $10,000 mic. And I'm like, I don't know if you do.
Yeah, because
I went to Quad Studios in New York, and they had the, what was it? I want to say it's the Neumann.
They yeah.
It was like the $11,000 mic or something like that. Yeah, and I recorded on it, and I was like,
I really love this.
I looked at my boy, and I was like, dude, I'm not hating. I swear, but I do not like it.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not about the price. It's about all of the elements around you. It's about the room. It's about your voice. It's like the mic that I would use for me, I would never use for you because we have such different voices.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the point. Like, and that's where people get stuck. Now you can get it done with anything. So if you only got one mic and that's what you have access to, then you have to learn some stuff on the back half to compensate. You know what I'm saying? But if you can get a great mic in front of somebody that feels good for them, man, that's half the job.
Dude, it really is.
That's half the job. You know what I'm saying? And makes a big difference. So, well, that's cool, man. Look, man, I appreciate you coming and talking and just going over gear and just nerding out with me for a little bit,
this is awesome, man. Yeah. I really appreciate you inviting me over. And
yeah, man, this has been fun. If you need an engineer and you're near the Staunton area, man, Tso Ghostly is your man.
Appreciate you.
He is incredible. He's just like accelerating all the time, bro. Every mix he sent me, I'm like, this is getting crazier and crazier, dude, bro. So you're doing your thing, man. It's amazing.
I appreciate the guidance along the way, dude.
Thank you, bro. That's what we're trying to do is educate people and like, more power that everyone has in this, like the artist, the engineer, the producer, the more we all know, the
Right.
better music we all make. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Worldwide.
And that's the whole point. So that's what we're all about here. So thanks so much for tapping in with us,
Yeah,
man. And
man.
thank y'all for tapping in. Again, this is Feedback Chats. This is my man, Tso Ghostly.